11 a.m. Eastern time. Yesterday, we were traveling. I was traveling back from San Diego. That's why you didn't hear from us. But of course, we did our broadcast on site, on location, multiple different pieces from Snapdragon Stadium out in San Diego in anticipation of, during, and after the Holiday Bowl, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl for the Syracuse Orange facing off against the Washington State Cougars, the ACC versus the Pac-12. So for those of you that tune in to all of our coverage and everything we did out in San Diego, I appreciate that so very much. And to everybody that's with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, I know you've been dealing with the schedule change a little bit here as we've been traveling through. So I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you being with us and navigating through this with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. So thank you so much for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I cannot thank you enough for tuning in to the show and being here with us. We got a lot of things to get into, a lot to unpack. We're going to bring you the annoying moment of the week because with the schedule change and with being there for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl and having coverage of the DirecTV Holiday Bowl and focusing in on that this past Friday, we did not bring you the annoying moment of the week or lead or the top dog of the week as we were moving our focus and shifting our focus to the Holiday Bowl on-site on location for the first time ever in California, and now officially being able to say that not only have we reached people coast to coast, but this is the first time that I've broadcasted from all the way out west. We've been in Arizona broadcasting live, which I did with my dad, and now I get to say that we broadcasted out in California, so we've now broadcasted coast to coast. I saw the Pacific Coast. I was right there looking at the Pacific Ocean out in the San Diego area. So really awesome to be able to have these wonderful things happen in 2024 and in my career in general. And I appreciate and I'm happy that you've been here for it. So we got a lot of things to get into today. We'll do the annoying moment of the week first. We'll bring you lead. We'll bring you the top dog of the week. These are going to be the last ones of 2024 as today is December 31st. And we'll do the ingredients to success, proudly presented by Avicoles. Then we'll get into my experience most recently here, my travels and everything that's coming up as we get set to embark on even more in the bowl season and in the college football playoff. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is proud to not only bring you these wonderful, wonderful opportunities of speaking on the games and speaking on what's going on in college football in this historic 12-team playoff season, but to also be on site on location recently here within these last few weeks for the Army-Navy game in Washington, D.C., as well as the college football playoff first round at Happy Valley with Penn State hosting SMU, their DirecTV Holiday Bowl in San Diego, California. And I will also be on site on location by the grace of God and God willing here for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which is in the quarterfinal round of the college football playoff, which happens on January 1st between Arizona State in Texas, and then on site for the semifinal round of the college football playoff for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, which will be the winner of the Texas-Arizona State game facing off against the winner of the Oregon-Ohio State game, that being there for the semis. So a lot of great stuff coming up, a lot of great things to reflect on, and we're going to jump right into it with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. And I'm happy I waited for this one because this one actually happened yesterday.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. My annoying moment of the week for this most recent annoying moment has to go to something that I experienced on the plane. Now, you know, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we are not about personal attacks, so I'm not here to, specifically look at what I'm not here to call out somebody. I'm here to call out the situation that I experienced and how that situation can come in different forms when you're on a plane. Now, this person was on my plane yesterday, and they decided that it would be now listen, I understand that when you're, maybe you have to travel, maybe you don't have a choice, maybe your boss said, hey, I'm going to fire you unless you travel. I don't know what the situation was. I don't know what the situation isn't, right? I can't sit here and pretend to know this person's situation. What I can say is they got on the plane and they sounded sick. It wasn't a cough like a, it was a cough that was like, that type of stuff. And that cough was sitting there on my plane. Now, they were sitting, then there was a seat, and then there was me. So at least there was some spacing. But this person did not have a mask on, and they proceeded to cough and cough and cough and cough and cough some more. Well, after about a half an hour or more of coughing, they had a mask, and they had brought one. It was their own. It was a black mask, and they put the mask on. So they had just coughed all this nonsense into the air and then decided to put a mask on. After putting the mask on for a short time, they then decided to take the mask off. And I said, okay, well, maybe that's because they're getting a drink. Maybe that's because they're eating. Good morning to Mom. So this person just was reading something on their phone, enjoying something on their phone with the mask on. And I said, okay, well, thank goodness they put the mask on. Unfortunately, they've already put all this grossness into the air, but they just put their mask on, so that'll help out. Well, then the mask came off, and when the mask came off, again, they proceeded to cough for over an hour, on and off. And then they put the mask on for a few minutes, and then they took it off for the remainder of the flight and continued to cough. And I thought to myself, what is the point of having a mask if you're not going to use it? What is the point of putting yourself in a situation like that where you're like, okay, obviously, I mean, she sounded like she was sick. So, and it was to the point of, and thank goodness I had a mask on. See, and because I wear masks on planes, I just do, ever since COVID. Because, listen, I travel a lot, and people do things, right? People sneeze, wipe it on their hands, and then touch all over the screen. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do. So I live life like, how would I want the next person that sits in my seat to have an experience, right? You know what I mean? So how am I going to leave the seat for the next person? I'm not going to be, they'll clean the seat, because what if they don't clean the seat? So my mentality is leave something better than you found it, right? Or clean up after yourself, however you want to look at it. Well, not everybody's like that. I can't expect that someone's going to treat a seat like I do. I grew up thinking, hey, if I'm good to other people, if I'm good to the next person that comes along, then everybody else will. That's how I grew up. Well, I know that that's not true. And it's important in life to not lose your childhood innocence when you also realize that not everybody's like you, right? So you hold on to that innocence, that goodness, that's care, right? You don't become jaded, but you understand. You say, okay, like I grew up thinking, I'm not going to sneeze and then like touch my seatbelt, but now I know that that might not be the case with somebody else. And I'm not going to get jaded about the world and be like, oh my gosh, the world's a terrible place because other people don't think like I think and do what I do and clean up after themselves. I have to continue to clean up after myself, continue to care about the next person that comes along, but fully understand and anticipate the fact that somebody might not care about me coming along, right? So in this situation with this person, they're coughing, and I'm thinking to myself, why are you even on this plane? And so this person is clearly sounding sick, and not just like, they're sounding sick, like they're in it, right? And so they're coughing and going through all this stuff, and then they said, what do you want to drink? And they have soda and they have water and they have coffee. And this person ordered a vodka tonic double with 2 bottles of vodka. And then they're the little bottles. And then when the lady came around again, she ordered another double vodka tonic. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's how we kick this thing out, right? That's how we beat disease with alcohol. so it was definitely an annoying moment of the week. Greg said Happy New Year. Hopefully your West Coast Southern Cal adventure was an amazing one. It was, and we're going to talk about it today on the show, Greg. So yeah, but unfortunately, yeah, you know, being on a flight with this person, I thought to myself, you know, it doesn't seem, to me, it's selfish, right? Like if you're going home, and this is why I say it's selfish. If you're going home and you know that you're sick and you think to yourself, I got to get on the flight no matter what, and you're going to get on this flight because, you know, I've been under the weather before, and you just try to kind of get through it, right? If you're going to be on a flight though, and you know that you're sick, and you bring a mask, and you wear it for 18% of a 4-hour plane ride, you're not doing anybody any service. Maybe you really do need to get home. Maybe you're going home because somebody passed away. Maybe you're going home because it's the anniversary. Maybe you're going home because you're going back to work. For whatever reason that you're going back home or you're going on vacation or wherever you're going, to have the common courtesy and respect for the lives around you. You don't know. I mean, today's my dad's birthday. Today's my father's birthday. And this woman's hacking over here a seat away from me. Is she thinking about me? No. Is she thinking about the kid behind her? No. I mean, it could be somebody's going on their honeymoon. And that's what I think of. Do I think you should be traveling when you're coughing like she was? No. But if you do have to get somewhere, and you definitely just have to be there, the least you can do is bundle yourself up and get, you know, cover yourself and cover your face. And the fact that she had a mask and she didn't use it until over a half an hour of coughing on and off, and then took it off and proceeded to cough all the way through the flight for the most part, put it back on for a few minutes, and then cough throughout it again. To me, that's beyond the annoying moment of the week, because to me, it speaks to a larger thing about society. Do we care about the people around us? Do we care about their health and their safety and their happiness? Do we think about other people? Or are we simply thinking about ourselves? And I can't speak to who this person is because I don't know them. I just know my experience with them. But I know that if I was in her shoes and I was coughing and I didn't feel good, I would try to not fly. If I had to travel, then I would absolutely have a mask on. I might put 2 masks on just to be safe. So, you know, it's my annoying moment of the week, because to me it spoke to a message of, I don't care about anybody but myself. And even if you are sick and you do have to travel, to me they showed that they had no baseline care for the rest of the people on that plane by having a mask, bringing a mask, and deciding that it was one of the least important things for them to have on the plane. I have to look at my phone. I have to read this. I have to drink my vodka tonics. And the last thing I'm going to do is put my mask on. And to me, that's just, because I look back to when I got COVID years ago, and there was a guy who took off his mask to cough. And that was the whole point of having it, right? Took off his mask to cough, and he coughed right in front of me. And I remember standing there, walking through, I think, Detroit Airport, and I didn't have a mask on. And I was like, are you serious right now? And then when I got COVID, I thought back to that moment and said, was that the moment? So the bigger picture of this annoying moment of the week is to care about other people. Look out for other people. And if you absolutely positively have to be in a public place, even though you're sick, could you cover your face and take precautions to not spread whatever you have? To me, the way that this person acted yesterday was, yeah, I'm sick, and I don't really care if it affects anybody else. I don't care if anybody else gets sick. And to me, that is unacceptable. But what I learned yesterday is when you are sick and you're coughing all over the place, you could still have a double vodka tonic. So, which I don't drink those sober and unsick, but hey, I guess to each their own, right? With that being said, we're going to jump into Lead. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Lead, proudly presented to you by the fantastic team at Chick-fil-A Cicero. And by the way, the Carvel DeWitt bringing you the annoying moment of the week. So, today's topic is going to be quite simply, live your journey. For Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Live your journey. Spent some time with a friend that I haven't seen in a really long time when I was out in San Diego. And he taught me a lot in a short amount of time. And one of the things that he reminded me of is to live my journey. Not somebody else's, not a cookie cutter for the situation I'm in, but to live my journey. That everybody goes through things in life, and somebody could be going through a similar thing as the next person, but it's important to live your journey. It's important to understand that even if you're in a similar situation as somebody else, your way of handling things might be different. Your way of looking at things might be different. Something that worked for them may not work for you. So when we live our journey and we live our lives, it is important to be cognizant of the fact that not every person hears things the same way, handles things the same way, does things the same way. You and I might be in the same scenario, but we may have to work through it differently. So when we're living this journey that we have in life, and we're going through what we're going through, to know that we are putting our mark, we are putting our stamp, we are living our lives, we are giving our best, and doing what we can to figure things out. Sitting in a room full of people that might be at a church, right? And realizing that they might hear the message differently. They might not fully understand something that you might understand. Or they might understand it differently because of their experience. I've talked about this on the show before. That people hear things through their experiences. People experience life, and then the message comes through what they've been through. Somebody might talk to you about racism, and maybe you've never experienced it. But when they tell somebody else the same story that they're telling, that person might be coming into that story having been through something, been through a racist moment. And they're hearing what you're saying, having been through an incident that is very real to them. Right? Talking about the same thing with two different people can cause two different results. Right? Sitting down with someone and saying like, hey, I need a little bit of space. I need some understanding because, I just need you to respect my space and respect the fact that like, this is what I want to do in my life right now. And I want to take a little time for me. You could tell that to two people in your life, and one person can go, yeah, take all the time you need. If you need something, let me know. And another person could be like, well, I don't like that. Why are you going to ignore me? Why are you going to spend time away from me? So we all experience things differently. And no one person is exactly the same as another person. So it's important in life to understand that you're living your journey. You're trying to figure out what works for you. You know, somebody might tell you to lose weight, I drink a smoothie, strawberry, you know, like for me, I drink strawberry, banana. I cut up the strawberry, the banana, throw those, you know, break them up, throw them in there, put natural peanut butter and unsweetened vanilla almond milk. And then I mix it up and I have it. And I try to have it daily or at least 5 out of 7 days a week. Well, somebody else might not like banana. They might not like the natural peanut butter. They might think that there's peanut butter that's healthier to put in there. So they might take what I do, but do it a little bit differently. They might put a little cocoa in there so they have a little chocolate taste because they need that little chocolate taste. Maybe they don't put in strawberries, they put in blueberries. Maybe they don't make as much as I do. So when you are going through life and you're trying to kind of talk people through things and help people through things, and maybe it's something you've experienced, understand that they're living their journey. They're living it the best way that they know how. And yeah, you could teach them something and maybe they can implement that. But to not take offense to the fact that sometimes it just doesn't work out that someone's going to walk that same... I mean, no one's going to walk the exact same path as you. No two people walk the exact same path. They don't. This is your journey. This is your life. You know, and I've figured out over time that when you're trying to help a friend, when you're trying to help a loved one, when you're trying to help a family member or a significant other, sometimes you feel like it works and sometimes you feel like it doesn't. But the reality of it all is you don't know what's going through their head at that moment. You don't know what they're experiencing, how they're thinking about something. So the best thing that you can do, I mean, to me, I can ask you a question and think that it's nothing. I could ask you a question and think it's a totally normal question. But that question could trigger you into negativity, into worrying, into doubt, and it can throw you off of what you're trying to do and the plan that you set for yourself that day. And I ask you that question, all of a sudden, you know, you respond negatively, and I have no idea why, because people have asked me that question a million times, and I've asked that question a million times, and it's never had this response. Well, that's because that person's living their journey, and the journey that they're on right now, that thing in their life is a touchy subject. So I think as you go through life, the hope is that we learn. The hope is that we do evolve and we ad-lib and we deliver. And when I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm trying to navigate through it, having not experienced a conversation like this before, I'm trying to learn about them, meet them where they're at, evolve as a person in learning new techniques or asking questions and trying to evolve expand my thinking, maybe open myself up to things that I haven't seen before, to try and understand where they're at, to ad-lib that when, you know, I go down a path that they don't want to go down or ask a question that they don't want to answer or talk about a subject that might be tough, to be able to ad-lib out of that and into something else and then deliver, right? When you say you're going to be there for them, then actually be there for them. I think the best thing about life is if we're willing to learn, you really do learn every day. And it's not that any of us are ever going to be perfect. It's just that we can try to be good. We can be good. I think people need to replace perfect with good. I want to be perfect. No. Just be good. Be good. Because when you care about others and you care about yourself and you put God first, it's not hard to be good when you have God in your life. It's not hard to be good when you want to you treat other people the way you want to be treated. Life is going to throw a lot of things at you, but this is your journey to live. And not everyone's going to understand it. When I started my own company, people didn't understand that. I got asked for 2 years, when are you going back to traditional radio? When are you going to go back? When are you going to get on ESPN? When are you going to make something of yourself? I had been on 3 ESPN affiliates in 3 different states. I had already been on ESPN radio. And I chose to do something else. I chose. And I chose for a lot of reasons. Reasons that I would still choose it today. If you lie to my face and you're my boss, why am I going to work with you? If you don't respect what I do and how I do it, why am I going to bring it here? If maybe you don't want me talking about God, I'm going to talk about God whenever I feel like it, and I'm not going to censor myself. I'm doing 10 jobs, I'm getting paid for 1/8 of one. This isn't a sustainable thing for me to do, to kill myself to make next to nothing. Because it's not all about the money, but I do believe people should be paid what they're worth. And if you accept mediocrity in pay, you're telling your bosses, like, this is what I'm worth. So there was a lot of reasons why I walked away, and I'd walk away again today in a heartbeat. Our journeys are going to test us. They're going to test the things that we say we care about. They're going to test the things we said we would do. They're going to test the bad habits we said we got rid of. They're going to test the good habits that we say we have. And when all these things are being tested, and God is watching, and unfortunately the devil is watching too, it's important for you to know that when you're living your journey, to be your authentic self, to learn about who that is, to get to know that person, and to know that comparing yourselves to other people is never a good thing to do, because you might be farther ahead than others, and you might not be as far as somebody else. No 2 people sitting in a room are 100% the same. So the message that you hear and the message that I hear might be different. The hope is that whatever we hear, whatever we experience, that we put God first, we have morals and values, and that we do things unselfishly, and that we treat people the way that we want to be treated. That's important. Let's go into the top dog of the week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Campground Dog Boarding. Top dog of the week, which could count from last week into this week. Man, I got to give it up. I got to say it's to the whole staff and to all the student athletes. I got to give it up to Syracuse football. They did it. They got here. 10 wins. Who would have thought Fran Brown, first season, going to get 10 wins? First season as a head coach. First season as Syracuse's head coach. First season coming here to Central New York and having student athletes on this team that transferred in, student athletes that were true freshmen, student athletes that were returnees. He had to bring all that together in that environment. He had to go find a staff. When you're the coach for the first time, people forget that's not just you. That's you finding an offensive coordinator for the first time, a defensive coordinator for the first time, a linebackers coach for the first time, a special teams coach, a coordinator for the first time, a quarterback's coach. It's you being ready and putting your staff together. So I got to shout out Fran. I got to shout out the staff. I got to shout out the student athletes. I got to shout out the families. I got to shout out the people that traveled and the families that traveled to these games, and God bless for that. And the alumni that came out to the games. Deion Goggins, Cam Lynch came out there for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. I saw them out there. A lot of awesome things. I saw the Pena family, and they go everywhere. Alvin Brown, supporting his son, Caden Brown. This whole experience of this season has been a whirlwind, and it's going to take some time for me to kind of back up and look at it. The fact that I experienced Fran Brown coming in, his staff coming in, Kyle McCord coming in, and some guys coming back and other guys coming off of injury and guys deciding to stay, and Deuce Chestnut returning to the team after being with Syracuse, going to LSU and coming back to Syracuse. All of this turning into 10 wins, which I've now experienced twice since 2018. So 2018 season, they got to 10 wins. They were at the Camping World Bowl. I was there for that in Orlando in the old Citrus Bowl Stadium. And then they got to 10 wins this season. I was there on the West Coast in San Diego, California for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Seeing these two seasons, which are different, they were different seasons, different quarterbacks, different personnel, different coaches. Seeing this was so exciting and so rewarding and very much a dream for me, because there's a lot of things that are happening that I've been working my butt off for a really long time. And the fact that there's people that appreciate that mean a lot to me. Happy New Year to Mike. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Early New Year. This season really has been something remarkable. And it's brought me to a place where, my hard work, my dedication, my determination, I feel is being appreciated in ways that it wasn't before. And I look forward to what that means. And I look forward to what that is. And I have to continue to trust God. It's amazing how people can cut corners, steal things from people, and treat people with no morals or values and complete lack of decency and responsibility and honesty. And then somebody can go there and bring honesty and respect and dignity and God and do things the right way and not bother anybody and not ruffle any feathers and just be there to do the best that they could possibly do to chase their dreams. And the second person gets treated like a criminal. And the first person that breaks all of these things is protected. But human beings can protect evil. God's not going to protect evil. God's not going to protect lies. God is not going to protect dishonesty. God is not going to protect cutting corners and taking advantage of people and threatening people and bullying people and pushing people around. God is not going to defend that. That is not where God sits, in my opinion. God sits with the good. So, doing good throughout my career, and I'm not perfect, doing good throughout my career over and over and over again, it seems like it's paying off in a way that I didn't even anticipate. And doing things the right way, once again, got me in trouble. But I don't serve them. I serve God. And I'm going to continue to serve God. And I'm going to continue to do my best. And I'm going to trust that the Lord will help me past those that keep trying to slam doors in my face, shut windows on my hands, and disrespect someone who is simply doing things with a pure heart and good intentions. And I believe that the Syracuse Orange football program did that this year. I believe that they did things with a pure heart and good intentions in a lot of ways. And so what I've seen, what I've experienced, and what I've been around has truly been amazing. People will come around and support you and love you. But if it ain't real, it ain't real. And I'm a firm believer that Fran Brown can see real versus fake. He can see honesty versus dishonesty. And he said in his introductory press conference, he looked at all of us in the media. He said, twist my words around once. Like misquote me, misrepresent me one time, I will never speak to you again. I don't think Fran's playing. I don't think I'm playing. And I do believe that if you do things with God, with a pure heart and good intentions, eventually all of those people, no matter how long they've held on to power, are bound to lose it because you can't defeat God. And I'd rather be on God's side trying to get through these walls than to be sitting in the castle at the top of the mountain, terrified of the day that God comes back to claim his castle. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Bringing you here the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver, brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero. And the top dog of the week, brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, has all led us into the conversation of what these last few weeks have been for 2024 for me, and will be going into 2025. Now, you see the logos that are next to me inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', the Army-Navy game, the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, the bowl season logo in general, and the college football playoff logo. Well, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, just a few weeks ago, I was in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., and in Landover, Maryland, for the Army-Navy game. Now, the Army-Navy game has meant something to me for a while. It's typically around the time that I go and get a Christmas tree, and my mom and my dad would, the three of us would be out getting a Christmas tree in upstate New York, and then we would stop somewhere, and almost always, I think at one point it was like 3 times in 4 years, like it was so many times in a short amount of time that I was like, I feel like we only go out for the Army, like we go get a tree for the Army-Navy game every year during the Army-Navy game, because we would stop at a local restaurant after we got the tree, like a restaurant bar, and the Army-Navy game would be on. To actually physically be there was something else. To go to D.C., to drive around D.C., to see the Capitol building, and to see the Pentagon and area and all the stuff in D.C. that you see in movies that seem surreal when you drive by it, to think about the weight of the jobs that the people have within this area and hope that they do it with God and do it with grace and do it with love and morals and values and honesty and treat people the way they want to be treated. That had weight to it to drive around there. Then to go to the Washington Commanders Stadium, formerly named the Washington Redskins, and after that the Washington Football Club. Going to see that stadium, that was really cool, where it says Raise Hal. Being there for the Army-Navy game was insane, and it was amazing. And then from there, to go to Happy Valley for the first time ever, and take a trip to Penn State for the first round of the college football playoff in the inaugural first year of a 12-team playoff. There's never been a first round before, so it was only semis and final. So to be there for the first round of the college football playoff in the inaugural 12-team college football playoff season, and the first time that teams got to host a playoff game in the college football playoff at home, all of that history happening. Penn State's never been in the college football playoff. SMU's never been in the college football playoff. So there's that history. James Franklin gets his 100th win in that game. So that's a part of the college football playoff. And James Frank, like, how cool is that? Penn State's never been in the college football playoff, never won a college football playoff game. And that all happens on the day that their head coach, James Franklin, gets his 100th win at Penn State. All too poetic. So going to Happy Valley was an experience in and of itself. Parking there in their like grass, dirt parking lots that are literally like on a hill, because you're like going up and you look at where the stadium is and you see all these hills around you, and like you're parked on one of those hills, going up there, going to the stadium, experiencing that stadium, experiencing the press box, it's experiencing, going down the stairs and seeing, like, it was almost like an exposed inside of a clock, the inner workings of these staircases. Being there at Happy Valley with 106,014 people was nuts. And then leaving there and then celebrating Christmas with my family, and for the first time ever heading out to the most west part that I've ever been, truly the West Coast, going out to San Diego for the DirecTV Holiday Bowl at Snapdragon Stadium. And then coming up for me, I'll be heading back to the college football playoff for the quarterfinal round. First time there's ever been a quarterfinal round in the college football playoff, and back to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which this year is part of the quarterfinal round of the college football playoff. So back to seeing Matt Garvey and Gary Stokan and the awesome team with Peach Bowl Inc. that oversees the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, which is inside of this college football playoff now, and being able to be there for that, going back to Atlanta. And then after that, in less than 2 weeks, I'll be heading back to Arlington, Texas. I've been to Arlington, Texas this year, and been to Arlington, Texas a few times here of these last few. I'm trying to think back. Yeah, within the last couple of years, I've been to Arlington, Texas a few times. Going back to Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, it's all kind of like together. Going back to Arlington for AT&T Stadium, where the home of the Dallas Cowboys, where I always wanted to go on the field, and got to do that a couple of years ago at the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. I'll be there for the semifinals of the college football playoff. So within a short amount of time, I've been to Washington, D.C., then State College, Pennsylvania. So Washington, D.C., State College, PA, San Diego, California, Atlanta, Georgia coming up, Arlington, Texas, and then we'll see from there. These last few weeks have been representative of this year, and they've been representative of my career. To chase my dreams and to go after the things I want, you have to be willing to put in the work. And putting in the work doesn't mean putting in the work that just people see. You know, where someone goes, hey, I'm going to go to a soup kitchen, I'm going to take a picture with a spoon, and I'm only going to stay at the soup kitchen for 15 minutes because I'm here for the photo op more than I am to help the kids and help the people. We're not talking about that. We're talking about there ain't nobody here with a camera on in this soup kitchen, and I've been serving in this thing for 25 years, and, you know, I didn't do it for the cameras in that analogy. This travel is indicative of how good, first and foremost, God has been in my life, how great God has been in my life, and that dreams can come true and do come true, and that you really got to put in the work if you want them to come true. As I sit here and I reflect on this year of 2024, on the last day of 2024, I sit here and I think to myself about, you know, did I ever see this happening? Did I feel like I could do it? Yes. Did I feel like, you know, it was one of those things like I'm not worthy of? No. Did I think I could accomplish this? Yes. I thought I could accomplish anything, and I still do, and I always will. I always will. Because confidence in yourself and the courage to do it, that is imperative. God can meet you there, but you got to get off the couch. You have to believe. People say, well, God didn't make me rich. Well, what are you doing? Well, God didn't give me the dreams I wanted. Are you working toward them? Yeah, Dan, I'm going out there, I'm applying this and that. Well, I did the same thing. I applied to over 40 TV stations out of college. Overall, I applied to over 90. I think I applied to 91 places, some in the broadcasting world, some not. 91 out of college. Not a single one of those places gave me a job. I've owned my business now for over 12 years, and I'm 21 years broadcasting. If you don't get what you want right off the bat, that ain't God saying, you suck. That's God saying, keep going. You ain't there yet. You're not there yet. And when you get to that job, you're not there yet. And when you get this money, you're not there yet. And when you get that award, you're not there yet. And when you get this exclusive, you're not there yet. Because the day that you finally arrive is the day that you get back to heaven. That's what people don't understand sometimes. It ain't about, well, I got here and I got here and I got here. No. You're trying to get back to heaven. That's why it's important to not just get the money, but how did you get the money? To not just get that job, but how did you get that job? to not just get that award, but how did you get that award? What did you do to get there? Did you lie, cheat, and steal? Did you manipulate to get that award? Or did you do it based on your merits, not even know that it was coming? I don't do things for awards. The media is not going to give me awards. I don't anticipate in my lifetime that my peers in the media, whatever, they don't consider me a peer, but my peer, some of them do, and I love those people. But my peers in the media, I don't expect them to give me an award, ever, for anything, whether or not it made sense. I'm not here for that. I was never here for that. To get an award from people that have no respect for themselves or me, what award is that? So, to me, the award and the reward of all these years is God continuing to bless me. God continuing to say, we're just getting started. Get your sleep. Take a deep breath, because we're going to keep going. And that's the reward for me. The reward that I wake up in the morning 21 years after starting my career and God going, yeah, you barely scratched the surface, Daniel. I have so much more planned for you. I need you to be healthy. I need you to take care of yourself. I need you to have morals and values. I need you to focus on what is right. And I need you to stay the course, because there's a lot of things to come, but they're not going to happen if I don't have all of you and you're not serving me. And to me, God has been the center of everything, always. I wouldn't be alive right now if not for God. I wouldn't be. And to sit here and say that in the month of December, I've been to Washington, D.C., Happy Valley in Pennsylvania, and San Diego, California, all within these last few weeks. D.C., Pennsylvania, California, and now to Georgia, and then to Texas. I mean, this is beyond my dreams. This is beyond everything that I could have asked God for. And I'm grateful for it. And it's not that I didn't think that I could get here. It's that there was a lot of things in my way. And there was people, places, and things that suggested to me that I can't get here. And are still suggesting it. I just listen less now to that. And hopefully I listen to that not at all in the not too distant future. And Happy New Year to Jerry as well. See, I'm not a collector. Someone who collects a lot of things and doesn't appreciate them. And when that does happen, I have to check myself. Because I'm not on this earth to be a collector. I'm on this earth to make a difference. Why am I in San Diego? Why am I in DC? Why am I in Atlanta? What am I attempting to accomplish? What's the bigger picture? To spread the love and the message of God? That's one. Two, to live my dreams. To live a world, to live a life where there are no boundaries, where I can show myself and other people there is literally no ceiling to what you can accomplish, what you can do, where you can go. And that paving your own way is the best way to do it. It's the hardest, but it's also the best. God is always on time, people say. And he's very rarely on our time. Very rarely on our time. Because if it was up to me, I would have graduated college. I would have been at ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, and on Sports Center and this and that. And I look back at that, and I wouldn't be here if I did that. I wouldn't be in my own studio if I did that. I wouldn't have my office if I did that. I wouldn't have my name on the door if I did that. I wouldn't have met the people that I met, gone to the places I've gone to. But see, when I stepped out to start my own business, and even now, the mentality is, how does he get college football playoff credentials? How does he get credentials in the NFL? How does he get a credential? How does he talk to people in Major League Baseball and he's out here at NBA Summer League? How does he get these credentials? These credentials are for national news sources that do this, this, and this, and they've been around for all this time. Where did they start? Wasn't there a belief when ESPN started that the 24-hour sports news network was a joke and it was never going to work? Didn't Fox have to start somewhere? When I was a kid, there was no Yahoo Sports. When I was a kid, there was no Athletic or On3. We didn't have internet in the house. There was no internet radio. There was no internet TV. There was no YouTube. Didn't everybody start somewhere? Wasn't YouTube around forever before YouTube got bigger? When streaming services came out like Netflix, people were like, Netflix? I can just go down the street to Blockbuster. That'll never change. And then what changed? There's no more Blockbuster. There's a whole lot of Netflix. Well, Netflix is just going to put on movies and TV shows that were already made. Now Netflix has, what, hundreds, thousands of their own shows and movies? I'm never going to buy streaming. It's ridiculous. How many people are on YouTube TV now? Fubo TV. I'm always going to buy DVDs. How many people got streaming now? How many people got digital codes they put in, watch it on their computer on the plane? Everybody started somewhere. And God has helped me to open doors, not based on someone paying for them, not based on me having a boss doing backdoor deals going, let Danny in, here's an extra $100,000 for your school this year. Nobody did a backdoor deal to get me in. Nobody paid anybody off. Nobody made promises and rubbed shoulders and this and that. God helped to open doors that people told me, and in some cases probably hoped for me, would never be open. It's a normal thing in my life now to travel around the country and cover national events, internationally covered events. It's a normal thing now. It's part of my life. See, I always thought that kid could get here. But I look back on this year alone, 2024, and I look up at God, and I say to myself, and I say to him, how great thou art. How great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee, how great thou art. Because God, yeah, traveling all over is great, but God's the one that helped to get me through life. God is the one that helped me to handle things that nobody saw, battles that nobody knew I was fighting. Maybe a couple people. But God helped me to be better at things that I've been fighting for years, to be better at problems that have persisted, to be better at things that have gone on. There were new challenges this year that I've never had before, and God provided. There were challenges that I have had before, and God looked at me and said, man, you're not letting that bother you as much anymore. Maybe it bothers you 90%, maybe this year it's 20. Then it gets up to 50, and I saw you move it back down to 30, back down to 20, back down to 10. See, I'm not here to please anybody in the media. I'm not here to please fans. And I'm not here to please anyone. I'm not here to please business. I love working with the businesses that we work here, but I'm not here to please them in the sense that they're my boss, that they're my king. I'm here to please God. And I'm a firm believer that if you work to please God, then you will be surrounded by the right listeners and the right viewers. You will be surrounded by the right supporters. You will be surrounded by the right friends and family, by the right significant other. You will be supported by the right businesses, and you will meet the right people. The people that I have built connections with in places that people thought I was never going to be and never deserved to be, they said, we work with you, we like you, this is never a question of you're going to get in here because of the person you are, because of the faith that you have, because of how you do your business and how you handle yourself and how you treat people. You know, they say that being a good person doesn't get you anywhere. And I can tell you the exact opposite. I can tell you that working to be a good and honest and true person that cares about people genuinely has gotten me into all the rooms that I was told I didn't deserve to be in. I didn't get in there. Like I said, I didn't get in there because my company was around for 100 years, because somebody did a backdoor deal, because someone paid somebody off, rubbed somebody's shoulders, greased this and greased that. I got into the rooms that other people got into because of God, hard work, consistent work, kindness, generosity, and treating people with respect. That's how I got in. I got in by being a good, hardworking person that bows to God and nobody else. It's not how everybody gets there, but it's how I can get to heaven. If I get to the college football playoff by being a good, hardworking, consistent, God-fearing, God-loving, God-appreciation, God-respecting person who takes his talents and does the best he can and builds relationships and shakes hands and lets people know who he is and is persistent in letting people know who he is, what he's about, and then showing them everything that he said he was and hopefully more, that can get me to heaven. I don't want to just get to the college football playoff. I want to get to heaven. I don't want to just get that money that can pay my bills. I want to get to heaven. I don't want to just travel across the country and get to say, I'm here. I want to get to heaven. And that's what people need to understand. When I'm standing outside of Snapdragon Stadium, I'm not going, oh yeah, I would get here by any means necessary. I'd cut a throat to get here. No. I'm standing there talking to God, praying to God, saying, God, I'm so grateful I finally got out here. See, when you do it with God, you don't do it alone. When you do it without God, you're going to be doing things by yourself. And to me, this life has been better than my wildest dreams. See, the kid growing up was like, you can do anything. And that kid has become a man that says, you could do anything. There's nothing that I think that I can't do. When I'm talking to you and I go, I'm writing a Spider-Man script, and I'm going to do this script, and I believe in this script. I'm not writing it to put it up on the wall. I'm writing it so that somebody will read it, they'll say we like it, they'll bring me in, and I'll get to make this movie the way that I want to make this movie by the grace of God. Well, why do you believe that, Dan? Because I do believe if you do the work and you believe in God and you lead with a pure heart and good intentions, you can achieve anything by doing the work, believing in God, showing up, and being a good person. Well, how do you know that, Dan? Because I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Because I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Fresh off a plane from San Diego and about to get on a plane to Atlanta. This life that I'm living is a blessing for a half of a minute, let alone a month, let alone a year, let alone the past 21 plus. And I want to thank everyone that's helped to make this possible. I want to thank Army staff and Navy staff. I want to thank Jeff Monken, the head coach of Army. I want to thank Brian Newberry, the head coach of Navy. I want to thank Rick Schloss and Mark Neville and the entire team of the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. I want to thank the Scotty Rogers and the Matt Garveys and the Gary Stokens and the Chris Smiths and the Rhett Lashleys and so on and so forth, and everyone over at the College Football Playoff. Jerry wants to play Dr. Octopus. Hey, Jerry, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, Jerry. Kind of like it. I think it's time to see the Sinister Six, don't you? There's been different iterations of it, but Doc Ock's a big part of the Sinister Six. To everybody that's watching and listening right now, me talking about my life and the things that I'm proud of, this isn't a beat my chest, I'm awesome. This is a thank you God moment. There's a lot of those throughout every day of my life, if I'm being honest with myself. I'm talking to you right now. What do you want in your life? Have you worked for it? Where has it gotten you? Are you willing to continue to work for it? Do you believe? And will you realize that the journey is a part of it? See, I get the good chill, those chills in my arms that I have right now. I'm going to get that tomorrow when I'm walking through with my baggage. You know, when I got my bags, the good baggage, the actual like just bags that have that have my clothes in it and my travel studio and all that stuff, not the baggage that we all got to let go. But when I walk through Atlanta Airport tomorrow, I'm going to have a big smile on my face. I'm going to have those chills that I got right now in my arms. I'm going to be like, God, I'm going to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Man, I'm going to the playoff. I'm going to the college football playoff. God, we're going to do this today. I'm going to do something amazing and something fun. I'm going to sit in the room. I'm there. Do you know how many people thought that I would never get a seat at the table? That I didn't deserve a seat at the table? And when I got a seat at the table, tried to oust me from the table. And what did God say? I will set a table before you in front of your enemies. You will eat in front of them. Not only will you have a seat at the table, but they will have to watch you have the blessings that I've given you. Don't worry about the people that don't think you have a seat. I will give you a seat at my table, my child. So I'm not talking about me and my life and my journey to say, wow, I'm so cool. I'm talking about me to talk about you. What do you want? What are you willing to fight for? We're coming to the end of 2024. We're going into 2025. And when we go out one year and into the next year, typically what people do is they make their New Year's resolutions. Here are the things I want to accomplish this year. Here are the things that I want to do. Here's where I want to be. I want to lose weight. I want to go to the gym. I want to travel more. I want to chase my dreams. I want to write this. I want to ask this person out. I want to be open to this. I want to teach myself how to dance. I want to whatever. I want to sing more. I want to go back to school. I want to be a better person. Whatever your New Year's resolution is, I'm going to ask you to do something different. Don't wait until midnight tonight to make your New Year's resolution. Start it today. Start it right now. And then I want to ask you in 2025 to not wait until 2026 to start something else or do something else different. If in February on the 17th you decide to yourself, hey, I want to try for this. And it's not a new year. It's not a resolution. Well, the only people that tell you that you have to have New Year's resolutions and these life-changing events once a year, those are the people that are trying to sell that to you, right? Trying to push that for you, trying to put that on their commercial. Your New Year's resolution can be any day of the week, every day of the week, every day of the year. You don't have to wait to make positive change in your life. You don't have to wait to chase your dreams. Well, Dan, I got to wait for this person to call me back, and I got to wait for this, I got to wait for that, and I can't, control this, and I can't control that. No, you cannot control if someone gives you the money. You cannot control if someone gives you the job. You cannot control if someone says yes. But what you can do is you can do the work. Do it with morals. Do it with values. Do it in a way that you could sleep at night. Do it with God and prayer and meditation and trust and hope and belief and love and kindness and goodness to yourself and others. You are in control of all of that. So, no, you cannot control the when. You cannot always control the who. You cannot always control the whatever, but you can control how you go about your business and why you do it. You can control who you are, what you're after, why you're after it, how you're going after it. And that can happen right now. I don't want to hear, I'm too old. I'm not good enough. I didn't go to X school. I don't know X person. I don't want to hear none of that. I am a living, breathing example of if you do things without kissing butt, backdoor deals, giving money, greasing this, greasing that, lying, cheating, stealing, stepping on the heads of other people. I am a living, breathing example that without cutting a single throat, stepping on a single head, ruining a single career, and trying to essentially make it on the back of somebody else, that you can do it the right way. So I don't want to hear, Dan, I can't. Dan, I'm going to wait till midnight. Well, if I start on midnight and then I break it by January 2nd, I'm going to give it up and say, well, I hope for next year. No. You can start walking today. You can start eating better today. You could start praying today. You could do a bunch of things right now, in this moment, in your control. I don't want to hear about New Year's resolutions. I want to hear about lifestyles. I want to hear about lifestyles. I want to hear about what you're going to do to be a better person to yourself and others today. Jerry said, it's up to God, but my resolution is to see 2026. And my resolution, I hope that you do too, Jerry. I hope you see 2036. I hope you see 2046, Jerry. I hope you see 2056. Let's keep going. To everybody out there that's fighting what they're fighting, addiction, disease, loss, fear, negative self-talk, their past, their situation. To anybody that's fighting their heart, fighting their mind, to anyone that's out there fighting right now, whatever you're fighting and whatever you're going through, let's say a prayer together. I don't care if you've never prayed before, and I don't care if we have a different faith. Why can't a Muslim pray with a Jew, pray with a Catholic, pray with a Hindu, pray with a Buddhist, pray with you? Let's pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, I thank you for the life that we have. I thank you that we're here today to have this conversation with you. I thank you for all of your blessings in our lives. If we're not seeing them, help us to see them. Simply by being awake this morning to see that that blessing is one of the greatest blessings that everyone is praying and hoping for the most part. So if we're blessed to wake up this morning, may we be thankful for that. May we be thankful for the breath that you put in our lungs, for all of the beauty and the majesty and the goodness that you give us. Help us to see your love everywhere. Help us to see your creation everywhere and to truly see your paintbrush on our lives and all around us and to appreciate it. God, please help us to be healthy, safe, happy, and filled with all of your most precious gifts, to do your will first and be well second, and hopefully we will be well while doing your will. God, please help us to be alive and well, whether we're traveling, staying put, or both, today, tonight, and so on. And may today, tonight, and so on, for all the right and goodness of it, be long, be fun, and go by slowly. May we enjoy every second, and may none of it speed us by. God, please help us to heal from whatever's going on in our lives, to heal completely and for good, to heal no matter what through you, and to handle well whatever comes our way, in and out of our control. God, please help us to be safe and sound and together even in death, that those of our loved ones that have passed on, may they be safe and sound in heaven with their loved ones that have also passed on and closer to you than ever. May we be safe and sound with our loved ones here on earth, and our loved ones be with their loved ones as well. And may we be safe and sound with you here on earth and get closer to you every millisecond of a millisecond, every single stretch of every moment of every day. May we only get closer and closer to you on our way back to heaven. And may we be with our loved ones that have passed on, even in death, because dying, Jesus destroyed our death, and rising, he restored our life. God, may we learn to accept the things that we cannot change. Change the things we can with courage and have the wisdom to know the difference and have that serenity and that peace. No matter where we are on our journey, God, help us to enjoy our lives, to enjoy our moments, and to just be happy to be in the moment, happy to be here, to celebrate and to live, not to collect, but to truly live. I pray for us all to achieve our dreams, and I pray that we do it with morals, values, and you above all. I love you with all that I am. May we laugh, may we cry happy tears more than sad ones. May we love with everything we've got, and may nothing ever keep us down with you at our side. God, please help for 2024 to end well, 2025 to start great, and in general, for every moment to be a great opportunity to be happy, to be with you, and to show love to ourselves and others. God, please help us to never, ever give up. Be by our side as I know you are. Don't give up on us. And know that we love you with everything that we've got. I am thankful for every gift that you've given me. And please help us all to know that if you stripped us of everything and it was just you and us together, that is all we need to achieve everything and more that you would ask us to and that we want to. Please put our wills and put your will and our want together and help us to parallel each other. Guide us toward what is good, guard us from what is not. Help us to know the difference clearly. And may we just have a beautiful day. I love you, God, with all that I am. I thank you for all of our blessings. And I thank you that I'm finally living in the moment. And I ask you to help us all to do that. In Jesus' most precious name, amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back to talk about bowl season right after this. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there was something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York, to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There was a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There was a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machines, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machines. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I could tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Happy to be here with you, and happy to be here on my dad's birthday here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the last day of the year. So definitely happy to be here with you and thankful to be here with you as always, where sports meets that thing called life. So happy to be hanging out here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and can't thank you enough for your support and your love and your positivity and just listening and being here. Let me see here. Dad?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
I decided to call you during my show to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, how are you doing today? How's the birthday so far?
Good, very good.
Are you at lunch right now?
No, I'm at breakfast with the boys.
At breakfast, yes. You're doing your breakfast thing. So, tell the...
City Hall Cafe.
Where are you?
City Hall Cafe.
City Hall Cafe. Well...
Yeah, let your listeners know that.
Why? Is it a good place?
It's an excellent place.
All right. Well, if we say it one more time, they got to have a sponsorship. So let's say City Hall Cafe. So, you're having a nice breakfast?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, good. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a little bit. I wanted to call you up and wish you a very happy birthday. And as so many people celebrate and reflect on this last year, go through this past year, and every single year on December 31st, kind of take a look back on what's happened throughout the year. It's also unique that it's your birthday, and as I look back on 39 plus years of my life, I'm happy for the relationship that we have today. I'm happy for the time that we get to spend together, and I just want you to know that I love you, and I'm happy that I can pick up my phone to this day and still give you a call.
Thank you. I love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bud.
All right, see you.
All right, bye-bye.
See you. Yeah, I just felt like doing that. So he had no idea. And he handled it like a champion. So I think my parents have come to learn that if I call them between 9 and 11, they're probably going to be on the show. But yeah, so happy birthday to my dad, and much love to my dad. So, and to my mom and to my Lillian and To all my loved ones out there, all my brothers and sisters, my nieces, my nephews, Lil Sis out there doing big things, proud of her. So much love to everybody out there. And Jerry says happy birthday to my dad. So thank you to Jerry. Appreciate that very much. I said we would talk about bowl season. I'm going to run through this thing. I'm going to run through this thing like the, what is that song? On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, and go through like all those things. Well, here we go with the bowl season. So it started back on Saturday, December 14th, a day before G-Mama's birthday and the day of the Army-Navy game. That was the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Jackson State defeated South Carolina State 28-7. Also on the day was the IS-4S Salute to Veterans Bowl. South Alabama defeated Western Michigan 30-23. Tuesday, December 17th, we had the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, one of my favorite names out there. Memphis took down West Virginia 42-37. Once again, the American Athletic taking down a team in a quote-unquote power conference, that being West Virginia of the Big 12. On Wednesday, December 18th, in the Boca Raton Bowl that Syracuse was in last year, James Madison, James Madison, JMU, they hired Bob Chesney after Syracuse did not bring in Bob Chesney. And so he could have been the Syracuse coach. He ends up going down to the Boca Raton Bowl. Syracuse was there last year. Kind of a cool story. And so happy that Fran Brown's the head coach. Happy for James Madison with Bob Chesney. Happy for Syracuse with Fran Brown. Interesting story, though, about how that's all connected, and it's connected to the Boca Raton Bowl. Well, James Madison won the first bowl game with Bob Chesney as their head coach first time. So his first year as a head coach of James Madison for the Dukes, they win their first ever bowl game in his first season as their head coach, going from the FCS to the FBS. James Madison 27-17 over Western Kentucky in the Boca Raton Bowl. In the Art of Sport LA Bowl, UNLV defeated Cal 24-13 in a game against two teams that were defeated by Syracuse this season, Cal and UNLV. On Thursday, December 19th, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Sam Houston defeated Georgia Southern 31-26 in that game. And a big-time shout-out to Sam Houston for getting this victory here. And Georgia Southern, this was cool, too, because Georgia Southern came into the FBS a few years ago, and then Sam Houston has come in as well. So, just kind of cool to see these schools, because I want to go back to Georgia Southern. They joined the FBS in the fall of 2014. They were previously in the FCS, and they had won 6 national championships in the FCS, that being Georgia Southern. And then Sam Houston joined the FBS in 2023. So, last year. So they joined it this is only their second season. So shout out to Sam Houston, because in their second season, they won an FBS bowl game. How about it? So they got their bowl victory. That was over Georgia Southern, with two teams that went from FCS to FBS, Division I AA to Division I-A, NCAA football, Georgia Southern in 2014, Sam Houston last season in 2023, joining the FBS, Sam Houston getting the win, 31-26 in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. On Friday, December 20th, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl, we had Ohio defeat Jacksonville State 30-27 in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. I can't say it any other way. It's Gasparilla. Gasparillas. Gasper, it's like saying Jasper, but you say Gasper and then like gorilla. You say Gasparilla, put it together. Jasper Gorilla. That's how I remembers. So Florida defeated Tulane without Tulane's quarterback 33-8. And then on Monday, December 23rd, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, UTSA, who had some struggles this season, got back on the horse here, got to a bowl game, defeated Coastal Carolina 44-15 in that game that was in Coastal Carolina's home state of South Carolina. In the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, one of my favorite names as well, Northern Illinois, after defeating Notre Dame this year, they had gone on and defeated Fresno State in double overtime, 28-20, in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Tuesday, December 24th, the only game played on Christmas Eve was the Hawaii Bowl. In South Florida, 2 seasons with Alex Golish as their head coach, 2 seasons in bowl games, 2 seasons with bowl victories for the school that's getting their own on-campus stadium finally, which I'm very excited for. South Florida wins 41-39 over San Jose State in 5 overtimes. Awesome Christmas Eve game. Nothing on Christmas Day. Thursday, December 26th, the game above Sports Bowl. So how about this? The last bowl game between Christmas Eve and then the first, so from Christmas Eve to the first one played on the day after Christmas, we went from a 5 overtime game on Christmas Eve to the first game ending on the day after Christmas being a 6 overtime game, with Toledo and Pittsburgh saying, "I see what you've done, South Florida and San Jose State, and we will raise you an overtime." The game above Sports Bowl, Toledo won 48-46 over Pittsburgh in 6 overtimes. In the Rate Bowl, Kansas State beat Rutgers 44-41. In the 68 Ventures Bowl, Arkansas State defeated Bowling Green 38-31. On Friday, December 27th, in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, I don't want to hear nothing about nothing after games like this. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Navy of the American and a military academy defeated Oklahoma of the SEC 21-20. Say it loud for the people in the back. And so I don't want to hear nothing about nothing. Yes, I'm going to reference this when people tell me that the American Athletic Conference has no good teams. So I'm going to keep giving it to you like that. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Gasparilla. So that's what we're going to do here on the show. Jasper. But Navy defeats Oklahoma 21-20. So happy for them. Happy for the American. They beat an SEC school, and I don't want to hear anything. When SEC schools lose in bowl games, well, they didn't want to play, and guys are in the portal, and guys checked out, and blah. They don't say it the other way around, baby girl. They don't say it the other way around, do they? Navy beat Oklahoma in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. The American over the SEC. Say it with your chest. Navy 21-20 over Oklahoma. In the Birmingham Bowl, and it's no offense to Oklahoma, it's respecting Oklahoma by calling this what I've called it and being a big win and spending time on it. That's respecting Oklahoma and the SEC, because the Navy has no business being in that game, and there's no way. Well, that's why you play the game, right? Navy won 21-20. Let's go. Birmingham Bowl. Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, 2 teams that played spoilers this year, keeping people out of the college football playoff. Vanderbilt arguably kept Alabama out. Georgia Tech arguably kept Miami out, helped to keep Miami out. Vanderbilt wins this game of the spoilers, 35-27 over Georgia Tech. In the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, I've been to the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. This bowl game is played there. So inside of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, Arkansas defeated Texas Tech 39-26. In the DirecTV Holiday Bowl, which I was at a few days ago, Syracuse defeated Washington State 52-35, with Washington State's offense moving pretty swimmingly with a backup quarterback after their quarterback left for Oklahoma via the transfer portal before the bowl game, because you can still do that. And I think it's wrong because it is. But listen, hearing Washington State, being in the room with those guys after the game, a lot of respect for the hell that they went through and the fact that they found heaven in that hell by being together, trusting in God and trusting in one another. I have nothing but the utmost respect from being in that room with Washington State after the game and just hearing them speak about their interim head coach and their team. 52-35, Syracuse wins that DirecTV Holiday Bowl. SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, USC defeated Texas A&M 35-31. So Texas A&M had some struggles this year, had some moments, but had some struggles. Best win that Notre Dame had this season over Texas A&M, in my opinion, up to this point. Saturday, December 28th, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which is in Boston with the Green Monster. And in order to throw a touchdown pass, you have to be able to throw it over the green monster. That's how it happens out there. That's what I was told. I'm kidding. UConn won the game 27-14 over North Carolina, who who didn't have Mac Brown, who was let go, but they have Bill Belichick moving forward from here. Kind of interesting that they sent North Carolina to the Wasabi Fenway Bowl in Boston, and now the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels is the guy that used to get Boston up and jumping, which is Bill Belichick, who is returning to coaching and heading to college after coaching the Patriots to many Super Bowls, is now coaching the North Carolina Tar Heels moving forward. In the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, Syracuse was not in it this year. Boston College was. They lost to Nebraska 20-13, or 20-15, pardon me, as Nebraska is seemingly maybe getting on some better footing here with Matt Rule, a guy that I've known from years back at Temple. In the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl, TCU defeated Louisiana 34-3. It was a big old game. In the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which used to be the Camping World Bowl, which used to be the Citrus Bowl, which was the bowl the last time Syracuse 10-3. In the Pop-Tarts Bowl, Iowa State defeated Miami 42-41. I don't want to hear nobody talk about Miami no more. We're talking about Miami no more. So Miami shouldn't have been in the college football playoff. Arguably shouldn't have been in even before they played Syracuse. Then after they played Syracuse, Syracuse beat them. Definitely shouldn't be in. And then they lost the Pop-Tarts Bowl 42-41. In the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, incredible. Incredible that Snoop has his name on a bowl. Miami of Ohio defeated Colorado State 43-17. In the Go Bowling, why don't you go bowling? Military Bowl, East Carolina defeated NC State 26-21 without their head coach, Mike Houston, who they let go this season, despite the fact that they were having a better season than most, and it takes a long time to build things at East Carolina. He, like Ruffin McNeil, was let go even though he was successful, and then the team ended up being successful this season, so kind of head-scratcher, but happy for East Carolina, sad for Mike Houston, hoping for the best for both moving forward. In the Valero Alamo, and it was nothing against Miami before, I'm just saying, I didn't think Miami should be in the college football playoff, and they just lost in the Pop-Tarts Bowl to Iowa State. Now, Iowa State, to some people, was a really good team this year. You know, I mean, they were up and down and this and that, but ultimately, for me, I don't know what the drive was with Miami. Greg said the Pop-Tarts Bowl wins the award for best marketing in a college bowl game by far. Great stuff, viral social media sensation. You barely know that a football game was played, LOL. Greg, I'm going to tell you this about the Pop-Tarts. The Pop-Tarts Bowl is obviously connected to the ACC, and so they gave us a treat at the ACC kickoff. I think it was the ACC kickoff for football, and they had Pop-Tarts that were supposed to be flavored to the teams that were talking that day. So Syracuse had the Applejack one because it's orange. And so I thought that was interesting going into the season that Pop-Tarts came out and gave us like team flavored Pop-Tarts at the ACC kickoff. Just want to let people know that because I don't think people knew that. In the Valero Alamo Bowl, BYU defeated Colorado 34-14 over Travis Hunter and the Buffaloes and Deion Sanders in that game. So BYU, so we got to see the Big 12 championship in a bowl game. See, sometimes I feel like they do these on purpose, where they're like, we didn't get to see BYU and Colorado in the Big 12 championship, so let's put BYU and Colorado in a bowl game to see what would happen. Well, BYU took care of business by 20 in that game. In the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Army defeated Louisiana Tech 27-6. And give Army their flowers, folks. Army has had themselves a tremendous season. 12 wins this season, 12-2. Bryson Daly, their quarterback, broke the FBS record for touchdowns by a quarterback in a season. By the way, he was not in the final runnings for the Heisman Trophy. I think Kyle McCord should have been there, leading the country in passing yards, setting a single-season passing record for passing yards at Syracuse, setting a single-season passing touchdown record for Syracuse. So you got the single-season touchdowns at Syracuse, the single-season passing yards at Syracuse, leading the nation, the person behind you beat head-to-head. Why Kyle McCord was not there, I don't know. Why Bryson Daly wasn't there when he had the same amount of rushing touchdowns as Ashton Genty with 29 at the time I don't know why he wasn't there either. Now he has the most touchdowns by a quarterback in a season in FBS history with 32, running for 3 scores in Army's victory over Louisiana Tech. Absolutely incredible. And very happy for the Black Knights. So, and a team that I think should have been in the college football playoff. I would have rather watch Army than watch Indiana or a 4th Big Ten school, whoever that may be. But, yeah. And like I said, it's no offense to Indiana. I'm very proud of their 11-1 record. Very happy for them. I just don't think that their 11-1 was better than Army's 11-1 conference champion in their first season in a conference in the American Athletic. And then Army goes and spanks Louisiana Tech, and their quarterback just broke an FBS record for most touchdowns by a quarterback in a season with 32. I think there's enough around, and they have 12 wins. I think there's enough around Army to, say some good things, Is it about time to say some things? So, most wins in program history in a season is 12, and Army achieved that this year, even with losing the Army-Navy game to Navy. So, it's another feather in their cap. So, as Isaac Alford, my better half of Tortora and Alfred, said, for everything that Army did this year, they deserve the right to get a butt whooping. Like, if they were going to lose in the college football playoff, they earned the right to have that butt whooping. And many teams got whooped. So, what would be the difference of having Army there? In the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl on Monday, December 30th, Missouri defeated Iowa 27-24. That game was on while I was at the airport yesterday, coming home from San Diego. And coming up today, we got some awesome things coming up here today. I'm very excited about this. Coming up today, the last day of the year in 2024, they did this on purpose because Alabama's got 3 losses and Michigan has 5. But in the ReliaQuest Bowl, who would have thought we'd see Alabama-Michigan outside of the college football playoff? Well, again, they do these for a reason because is the ReliaQuest Bowl a bowl game you watch every year? Maybe, maybe not. But when it's Alabama-Michigan, you don't care what the bowl game is. You're going to watch that game. So the ReliaQuest, they're going to get some big money for that one, big money to their community as well. Tony, and that game starts at noon Eastern time. That's at today in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Then we have this is one of my other favorites, the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Love this one. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That is in El Paso, Texas, 2 p.m. Eastern time on CBS today. And it's Louisville versus Washington. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. So now the Cheez-It... okay. So the Camping World Bowl, but then there was the Cheez-It Bowl. So maybe the Pop-Tarts is not the Camping World Bowl anymore. I don't know. But the Cheez-It, because this one is at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida, 3 p.m. Eastern time today on ABC. The Citrus Bowl was called the Camping World Bowl, was called the Cheez-It Bowl, and now it's called the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. So maybe the Pop-Tarts Bowl is not the old Citrus Bowl, like I said it was, because the Cheez-It one is now called the Citrus Bowl, but it wasn't last year. Confusing. South Carolina and Illinois will face off against each other. And then in the Kinder's Texas Bowl, which Syracuse played in the Texas Bowl before, the bowl win with Scott Schaefer as their head coach, Baylor will play LSU at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. All of those bowl games are happening today on the last day of the year, and the college football playoff is back as the first quarterfinal game will be played today, December 31st, in the Verbo Fiesta Bowl out in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. This game is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time between number 6 seed Penn State and number 3 seed that advanced to the first round with a bye, Boise State. So I'm very excited for that. I'm going to be putting up polls on my social media, on our X, the former Twitter. You can go and find us there at CallDT. That's CALLDT. And I'll be asking you who you think is going to win each of these bowl games today including the college football playoff quarterfinal between Penn State and Boise State. And then coming up tomorrow on Wednesday, January 1st, we will have a full day of games at 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll start off with the game that I will be on site on location for, by the grace of God, and that is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl between number 5 seed Texas, number 4 seed Arizona State, and Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. Then the college football playoff quarterfinals continue with the Rose Bowl presented by Prudential. The Rose Bowl game, the oldest bowl game in the history of college football bowl games in America. That'll be number 8 Ohio State in a rematch with number 1 Oregon. They lost during the season 32-31 to Oregon. They will face them again. Oregon will try to win and move on as the number 1 overall seed in the first ever expanded 12-team playoff. Ohio State will look to avenge their previous loss and move forward for themselves. That Rose Bowl is going to be played in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN on January 1st. And rounding out the new year on the first day of 2025, we will have the All-State Sugar Bowl between number 7 seed Notre Dame and number 2 seed Georgia at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. So, with that being said, we're going to take our final step aside. We'll wrap up the show and get you ready for the rest of the week right here on Wake Up Call right after this.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is your one-stop sports card and trading card shop. Find GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. They are closed on Monday, so make sure that you make that note. GG Cards and Breaks has singles as well as packs, boxes. They have graded cards, one-of-ones potentially, RPAs, which stands for Rookie Patch Auto. They have cards that are off the beaten path, like cards that are signed by actors and actresses. They have Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, Disney Lorcana, hockey, soccer, baseball, football, basketball, and more while supplies last. So get yourself out to GG Cards and Breaks. I don't know what you're waiting for. Get out there right now. Go right now. It's 11 o'clock. They're open. Go. Go see them. Have some fun. Get something cool. Something for the new year as we head into it. And also want to let you all know on Thursday, January 16th, we will have our newest GG Cards and Breaks trade night. This will be at the Wildcat. It's at the Wildcat once a season. So they do it all throughout the year at the store at GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse. And then once a season, once in spring, once in the summer, once in the fall, once in the winter, we head off to the Wildcat Sports Pub, which is a nice bond of the Wildcat that I worked so many years with, GG Cards and Breaks that I've worked with here now in year 2, to bring all of our brands together in the community and reach out to you and ask you to come over and have some fun with us. Trade night at the Wildcat Sports Pub happening Thursday, January 16th from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. We look forward to seeing you out at the Wildcat for that, and always love you supporting the Wildcat as well as GG Cards and Breaks and all of our fantastic partners on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, with that being said, head out to GG Cards and Breaks. Let them know that DT sent you. Find some cool stuff. Start your collection or continue your collection today with the wonderful, wonderful people. It starts with Josh and Anthony, the entire staff I appreciate so very much, and I implore you to go out there and see them and support local, and just people that are being big kids, keeping that kid spirit alive, and every community needs that. I'm happy we have it in ours at GG Cards and Breaks. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Now, Jerry said the granddaddy of them all, Keith Jackson, talked about that Rose Bowl. So excited to step into the rest of the week with you. It's going to be another interesting week. I thank you all for bearing with me. I appreciate y'all for bearing with me here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. For all the traveling that we've done, like I said, the Army-Navy game in Washington, D.C., and then going to the college football playoff first round at Penn State with SMU at Penn State, and then the DirecTV Holiday Bowl out in San Diego, California. Now we're going to be heading back to the college football playoff and into the quarterfinal round for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, with Texas going up against Arizona State, with the Sun Devils having advanced with a bye through the first round as the 4th overall seed. Texas, being the 5th overall seed, had to defeat Clemson in order to move forward. They did that at home in Austin, Texas, and I will see them both in Atlanta, Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium coming up tomorrow on January 1st. And it's very easy to remember. The game is on January 1st at 1. So January 1 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. I'll be out there. I hope you'll be watching and having some fun with us. So you'll have to navigate through that with me as I'll be landing and getting some stuff going for tomorrow. So just look out for the show on our social media, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. And of course, as we go on this week, to just bear with us, we're going to have Papa Joe on the show this week, and we'll get to our Friday broadcast as well. A lot of great things coming up. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I thank y'all on youtube.com/Wake Up Call DT, facebook.com/Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, you can find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser.com, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. Subscribe, download us, and save us for free. And of course, big time thanks to our incredible partners, Brooklyn Pickle down in Pinehurst, North Carolina. When you're down in North Carolina, you know where to go for the best sandwich in the biz. That's on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course, you will find the Brooklyn Pickle. And let them know that Wake Up Call sent you when you go down there and hang out with them. We appreciate you so much. Carvel DeWitt here in Central and Upstate New York, our longest standing partner, 11 years with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and heading into year 12. Well, it should be year 12 because we're in 12 years of, so I think we're in year 12. Or stepping into year 12. 12 years, either way. 12 years with Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, that is in year 8 with us. Servomation, a new partner, reimagining, reinvigorating the technology, the variety, the quality of everything that you can get in vending. Check out more information at servomation.com. That's SERVOMATION.com. Mother's Cupboard, where I have my own sandwich. Go and get the Cuse Mac Mother every single day of the week, 7 days a week, on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. Exclusively at Mother's Cupboard, you can get the Cuse Mac Mother. Bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some scissor and enjoy that today. That means syrup, okay? Not the Wayne scissor. I'm just was saying syrup in a fun way because I'm in a fun mood. Go and get the Cuse McMother today. Carvel DeWitt, of course, has the DT Dolphin My Sunday, which is in connection to the Dolphins down the road from Carvel DeWitt. So Lemoyne, you can head over there. What a perfect thing to do. If I'm a coach, this is what I would do. bring a recruit on campus, show them around the campus, show them where they could be playing, show them their locker rooms, show them the school, show them how beautiful the school is, the surrounding community, bring them to some nice restaurants, and then for dessert, bring them over to Carvel DeWitt and go, how many schools do you know have their own Sunday here? Well, we work with this guy, Dan Tortora. He's our exclusive multimedia marketing partner. And through Dan and his company, we have our own Sunday here at Carvel DeWitt exclusively, the DT Dolphin. I would bring every recruit over to Carvel DeWitt that comes on campus at Lemoyne to get a DT Dolphin. Mint chocolate chip, green for the Dolphins, of course, mint chocolate chip ice cream, hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream 7 days a week. Go get yours today. Ava Coley's, who's been with us for many, many years. I think we're in year 6 right now. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. At this point, I've lost track. I think they're 7 years in, 6 or 7 years in. Ma and Pa's, I believe, is in year 6. Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. GG Cards and Breaks with us in year 2. Great Lakes Honda City, which has been with us for a decade and is moving forward with some awesome news coming up tomorrow. Pizza Man, who's been with us for many, many years. I think we're in year 4 right now with Pizza Man, if not year 5. And then Brian's Landing in their first year with us, having a great time with Brian's Landing out in Jamesville. Chick-fil-A Cicero, who we were with from when they opened pretty much, and pretty much all the way through. I think they've been open for what? 8 years, 7, 8 years. So we've been with them for 7, I think. And then, of course, we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Dolphins right here during Dolphin Time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alum. Jerry said, be safe, God bless. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you so very much. I know your prayers are with me, and mine are with you, as always, because you're family, and I love you. The Lemoyne College Dolphins, speaking of family, the Finn family, they're here with us every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and all throughout the year, under promise and over deliver. You can find all of our content with the Dolphins by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the Lemoyne Dolphins playlist, and you can also get your Dolphins on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage underneath the exclusive partners tab, and on LemoyneDolphins.com for more information. You know it, I know it, but let's say it together. Fins up. Airing most recently here, the Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse women's soccer special, a team that has been to the national title game for 4 straight seasons, winning a national championship within the last 4 years. In 2021, their head coach, Alex Grigorita, who's a fantastic coach in our community, who's not just building a team locally and regionally, but building them nationally. Once again, I'll say it, fighting in the national title game for a national championship in the last 4 seasons in a row, and winning a national championship right out of COVID in 2021. The Bobcat Buzz with student athletes, coaches, and administration. The men's basketball team is off to their best start in program history at 10-1 going into Christmas, and now they have the opportunity coming up here in January with the women's basketball team to make some more positive history. You can find all of our content with the Bobcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. The Bobcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats call Wake Up Call home here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as exclusive multimedia marketing partners. You'll find the Bearcats every Tuesday. You say, Dan, it is Tuesday. Where have they been right now? Well, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, you'll find the Bearcats. This week, you will have them. Don't you worry. Has an interesting week here between travel and the holidays, but the Bearcats will be with us this week on Wake Up Call with another Bearcat Break Room. Moments with Marshall featuring Gene Marshall, the athletics director at Binghamton, and the Bearcat Break Room with student athletes, coaches, and administration. Find all of our content with the Binghamton University Bearcats, including our on-site content from being at their game, just their doubleheader that they had just within the last couple weeks down in Vestal, New York. You can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist on YouTube. You can also find the Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. I want to thank everyone who's given me an opportunity to do an interview with them, to have a credential to their event, to work with them in business, to be partnered. I want to thank everyone along the way that God has helped me be around. I want to thank God for overblessing me every single day. I pray and I hope He overblesses you. Continue to chase your dreams. Continue to believe in them. Don't ever stop doing the best you can. Do it with a pure heart and good intentions. Keep God first and keep praying, and I promise you it'll all work out beyond your wildest dreams. I love you all dearly. I wish you a very happy rest of 2024. I wish my dad a very happy 70th birthday, and I wish you all a very safe, prosperous, happy, healthy, wonderful, love-filled, and positivity-filled 2024 and 2025. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Signing off for the last time in 2024. This is Wake.